Hey guys, so this video is going to be about how to do short, fun training sessions. It's also going to be about how your training session should have a goal and how to fix some screw ups. But these training sessions shouldn't be more than 5 minutes long. And you would be amazed at how much your dog can learn and how smart they are by dedicating 5 minutes a day to teaching your dog new things or by just polishing up skills that they already know. That got in my mouth. First, we're going to start off with some tips, and then I'll show you how some of my training sessions go with my dogs. These training sessions really need to be short, successful, and fun. Short as in no more than 5 minutes, especially if they're a puppy or they're not used to training, because we really want to avoid at all costs a dog being too tired, mentally tired, having too much input, too much information overload so that they can't understand what's happening and then they get bored or frustrated. We want to avoid that. Next, we need to make sure that the training sessions are successful. So my goal is to try to aim for an 80% proficiency rate, meaning 8 out of 10 times the dog succeeds. That way, the dog is learning more through its success rather than its failures. And that way, just like kids, when they're having fun and they're succeeding, they'll retain the information a little bit better. Now, with the 20% of time that they fail, we want to make sure that we are providing a appropriate consequence, meaning we provide a correction that doesn't affect the demeanor of the dog or your relationship with the dog, but it's going to tell them that screwing up is not worth it. Usually I provide these types of corrections when they know what to do and they decide not to do it. So if they're still learning something and they screw up, be pretty easy on them, withhold a reward, and then give them a high reward when they do something correctly. Lastly, the training sessions have to be fun. Now, I'm a trainer that will use corrections, but that's only for when the dog knows what to do and decides not to do it. So most of the time we want to be telling a dog, hey, this is how you do it. This is how you do it. And as they get better, we assist them less and less by giving them less information of how to do something and only relying on, say, a verbal command or a hand command. So I'm going to demonstrate how to assist less and less as the dog progresses, which is a really big part in these quick training sessions because we want to make progress towards the end of the session. So we start off by assisting them, showing them what to do, and then assisting them less and less. The command that I'm going to use to show this is down because we start off by showing a lot of assistance to the dog and we take it away. So we take it away gradually. So to start off, I'm going to lure him or assist him as much as possible by putting the treat to his nose, then showing him all the way down. Good boy. Good job. Sit. Good boy. He really likes these treats. As he gets better, I'm going to use less and less of a lure or less and less of an assist. So instead of putting it to his nose and showing him all the way down, I'm going to go down. Good boy. Sit. So then as he gets better, I'll do less and less assisting. So then I'll turn into down. Good job. Which will then turn into, hey, sit. Good boy. Down. Yes, good boy. Woohoo. But you have to make sure that training is fun. You want them to enjoy learning new things while also teaching them discipline at the same time, rather than just teaching them discipline. If you teach them it's fun to listen to you, you'll have a lot less conflict than a dog that you teach things through training sessions of listen to me, listen to me, listen to me, and correction after correction. The most important thing is to end the training session on a really high, fun, positive note. So I usually end a training session when they finally make a breakthrough, when they finally understand something, when I'm using maybe a little bit less assistance, or they succeeded 3 times in a row and that's what I was aiming for. That's when I end the session. That's when it's super fun. I might give them a few more toys. I'll give them a lot of praise, and then we finish. That way, the next time they pick up training, they're going to be like, oh, I remember the last time I did this. I had a whole bunch of fun. Try to have a goal in mind. Try to focus on one command and let that be about 50% of the commands that you use, especially if you have quite a few commands. That way you can kind of keep them sharp on their other commands by throwing them in there, like maybe every once in a while a heal or a down or whatever it is, and then go back into what you were really trying to teach. We're going to start off with a few training sessions featuring Layla. On this training session, we're going to be focusing primarily on returning to the sit position from a down position. So I'm going to be adding a lot of other commands in there, and I'll point those out, but I'll also point out how I progress through her learning that new command. So we started off with a sit in motion, now we're doing a recall, now a down in motion. Now we're working on returning to the sit. So see how I assist her a lot at the beginning to set her up for success. I crowded her space, I gave her the hand command, and I offered a treat. Now I'm going to try to crowd her less just to see if she's progressing. She wasn't, so I'm going to assist her all the way and practice a few more with my assistance helping her out quite a bit. So now we're going to practice a few more things. Return to the heel. There you go. Now we'll practice a heel. And I believe that was supposed to be a down in motion, so I put her back into the proper position. I'll practice another return to heel, and then start on another round of returning to sits. Here's a big reward for the dog. Make sure it's fun for them. Make sure you're praising just so they're enjoying themselves. So there's a sit in motion. She didn't go into a down, so I rewarded her. So now I tell her down. Now back into a sit with assistance there. Now this one, I'm not going to assist her. See how I didn't move forward there? Now, since she did it without my assistance on crowding her space, which is what she was primarily relying on, I'm giving her a big reward, and then we're going to play. Sometimes I'll practice that exact thing a few more times just to make sure it sets in their mind of this is how I'm supposed to do it without this extra assistance. But here, I just ended it on a good note. This is a more advanced training session where I'm using basic commands like recall, out, and heal to keep her under control and keep the session running smoothly. But my task here is to teach her send out, which basically means run straight away from me. So to teach that, I'll point her in the right direction. I'll give her a command, which is back, and then I'll throw her toy in that direction. Since she's been doing better, I'm letting her run a little bit further. Some other ways that you can teach this is by throwing a toy in a direction, pointing her to it, and then releasing her. But it's a great way to teach Frisbee for a dog. Now this is an example of a training session gone bad. It goes bad because he is more interested in those tennis balls behind me than he is in that tug toy. And in this training session, I'm trying to get him more interested in the tug toy. So you see here, I'm teasing him with it. I'm trying to get him back focused in on this tug toy. I even activate his prey drive by throwing it right there, and you see he still wants those tennis balls. So I'm going to try a little bit further because I'm trying to use that tug toy also to teach him the attention heel, which is he stares at me while he's in the heel position. So I'm trying to get him activated and playing with this toy and really wanting it so I can use it to teach him what I want him to do. But as you can see, he's just not that interested. So I'm going to need to switch up my training session because, like I said, we always want to end on a positive, fun note and making some progress. So if I identify that I'm not making any progress here, I need to switch up my training style. So what I'm doing here now is I'm going back to teaching eye contact, which I need eye contact in that attention heel. So I'm going back to basics just because I can tell the training session is not going well. I want to set him up for success and do something a lot easier. So I'm just going to ask for his eye contact. I'm going to click and reward him with a treat every time that he gives me that eye contact or he holds that eye contact. So you guys may need to take steps back if you notice that your dog is failing a little bit too much or things are just a little bit too hard. Make it easy for them. Set them up for success, but still try to make some type of progress during each training session. And that is that video. So try to find 5 minutes a day with your dog. It's really not that hard. 5 minutes a day teach them something new or sharpen up skills that they already know. And it's really not that hard. Just avoid the Netflix or turn off the phone and commit some time to the dog. Sometimes it helps to get in a routine, like a train, walk, train routine, where 5 minutes prior to a walk, I train the dog. And then after the walk, I go over the same training that we just did before the walk. Just really try to focus on making the training short, successful, and fun. If they screw up, or if it's just not going the way you want it to, or you're not working towards that goal, you can tell you're not going to reach that goal, adjust the training on the fly and make it fun and successful for the dog. Because the worst thing you can do is to have your dog not enjoy learning new things from you. It should be a relationship building experience. You can help make it that relationship building experience by aiming for that 80% proficiency rate, which is, it's a B, it's a low B, but it's they're still learning from their mistakes. So you're setting them up for success, but you're also teaching them through discipline. So in that sense, everything works out. And yeah, with that, I think that's the end of this video. So have fun training your dog for 5 minutes a day. Do that, and your dog will amaze you. I swear.